Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. And welcome to Norm Nixon's bittersweet birthday party. I'm Bankole Mokode, and today we're going to be discussing the penultimate episode of Winning Time Season 2. I'm also going to just be talking about Debbie Allen because that's just the important thing in this
Hmm.
episode. And joining
Yeah.
me today to talk about Winning Time as we approach the end, guys, please don't get them started on the brilliance of Donald Sterling. It's Ebuka and Christopher. How are you guys doing?
We're
Good man.
fantastic.
Good to be
We're
back
fantastic.
for the second to last time.
Chris, you said that like Donald was fairly treated,
I,
unfairly
I
treated.
never
Like
ever
he did.
ever have those words left my mouth. I don't know why Bankole tries to sprinkle in slander every episode.
Oh
Oh
my
god.
god,
Oh
Donald
my
Sterling,
days.
man. I didn't know that like the Clippers were not always LA.
Oh yeah, I think they were San Diego
Yeah, because in
before.
this episode they're San Diego, and I think they became LA in '85 or something like that around that time. Um, okay, we're gonna talk about winning time, but in a second. Please, guys, if you watch Top Boy, I don't really know what the cross section is between Top Boy and Winning Time fans, but we have it become both episodes. So right now there are two episodes covering the first 4 episodes of Top Boy's final season already on the feed. You can check this out, and then tomorrow, if we've done our job right, the final episode covering the last 2 episodes will be out. That Ebuka, Chinedu, and Emmanuel are covering Top Boy. So please check that out. Um, okay, let's talk about Winning Time, season 2, episode 6, titled "Beat LA," written by Max Borenstein, Rodney Barnes, and Jim Hecht, and directed by Sally Richardson Whitfield. Who wants to start? What are you guys' general thoughts?
Uh I guess the gods of winning time, they give some and take some. It was the romance episode, much to the pleasure of my heart, and I'm sure the displeasure of Bankole's.
This
But he
cannot
also
this
got
cannot be a
he
thing that
also
goes
got
on.
another
It's
fuck
facts, man.
Boston scene. So I mean he
I,
got some wins this episode.
yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, this was the episode about the men of Showtime and their relationships to the women in their lives, or at least I think so. Anyway, there was a major focus on that in this episode. But yeah, I really liked it. I think this might be my favorite episode this season because it was the perfect balance of everything: the personal
Hmm.
life, the basketball, and the backroom scheming and stressing. So yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, as much as I also like, romantic subplots, unlike some, I would say it was my favorite episode. I think it was a solid episode. I'm not quite like obviously I get what they're trying to do, but I was speaking with Ebuka before the pod started. Like it kind of feels a bit rushed, and I was like, was this their plan all along, or is it just like they're not sure, what might happen? So like they're trying to compress everything. But
Hmm.
I thought it was a nice episode. Obviously, we get to see some like the playoff, the Lakers playoff, like woes and also the highs, and we also see Pat Riley now that he's fully embedded as a head coach and having to kind of try to keep everyone's hunger the same, which is a big thing for coaches. I think
Hmm.
across all sports, once you get to the top, like the hunger to stay there. And of course, yeah, like Ebuka said, the romance very interesting to see. I guess we'll circle back to that later, but yeah, very very sort of episode. Like, and it's like all um, the, the male characters that they show have like contrasting fortunes. Jerry Buss's honey asking for 100 mil. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. But yeah, on the whole, like I'll say that it's a solid episode, but
Hmm.
I think we've seen like some greater heights in previous episode.
So it's interesting. I like that both of you have said the two things you've said because those are actually two things I wanted to touch on. We're going to talk about the romance aspect, much to you guys' surprise. In a second, we're going to cover that
I've gone to
because you're right, it
Bankole
is a
there.
major part of this episode. But so I'm going to do a bit of concern trolling, and I would like to preface it with this, be saying that like everything the show shows me, I enjoy. Right, so it's not like, and I do know that I might wade into territory. I don't want to judge the show on the show that I think it could be or it should be or different parties could take or whatever. But and we mentioned this when we first talked about the second episode. Now I'm feeling like there are just so many things that are if not undercooked, like we just aren't spending enough time on, right? And I think
Yes.
it's the title credits happen, and then you go 1 year later, and you're like, wait, what? Like now, look, to me, it could be completely fair that nothing interesting happened in that season. Like it was just a normal season, nothing happened. But even basketball aside, I just felt like there's so many interpersonal things that I felt like we're missing out on. Right? I want to see the degradation, and we'll talk about them in a second, of like Boss and Honey's relationship. Right? I want to see Riley as a coach, as Ibuka mentioned last week. I want to see the new team dynamics. I just felt like skipping that entire, and last season was 10 episodes, 1 year, pros and cons of that because it took like 6 years, 6 episodes before they got into basketball or whatever. But seven episodes, we've done 3 years, 4 years, I think. This is we're entering, we're 94, 84, aren't we? So we've kind of
Yeah,
done
we're about
four
to start
four
again.
years and then the finals. So we've done 4 years in 6 episodes. And it was that quick jump, and I was like, oh no, I feel like there are things I want to see. And again, maybe nothing interesting happened. Maybe because they're going to meet Philly again. Maybe that's not interesting, whatever. But I just felt like, at least from the personal, even if it's one episode that covers that year, right? One episode that you show me how Boss and Honey are no longer on the same page, or one episode where Riley coaches and is actually good at his job, or Jerry West becomes a good GM because he eventually becomes. I don't know. Just I felt like there was an episode missing, or just a year of personal dynamics missing. So that was goes back to Christopher's point about it feeling rushed. So just I just felt like there was something I was missing from the show going so quickly and rushing to the 84 finals. But I mean, is that is that in line with anyone else, Ibuka? Because you didn't mention anything about it.
Yeah, like in terms of stuff that hasn't been cooked properly, definitely. Like you mentioned in last episode with the boss family dynamics, I feel like that's a
Hmm.
big one that we haven't
I feel like
spoken about.
they just forgot about that after like episode 3.
Yeah,
Like we
we
haven't
haven't.
seen Jimmy or Jerry or Johnny in like
I mean, they showed up
episodes.
at the wedding.
Yeah, like one shot, and they said this say fuck busting, but like where's the whole quote unquote monopoly of everything? But yeah, continue. Sorry.
But yeah, I somewhat agree with you that they rushed it in terms that, like, this is a new team. They spent so much of the season on West Head not being a good fit for the players. We would have liked to see, apart from that,
Mm-hmm.
the scene where Riley ascended the throne. We'd have liked to see us an episode or a couple scenes where
Of him actually being
he
a good
shows,
coach.
yeah, he shows how different he is to West Head, considering he spent so much time with West Head being bad. So, you
That's
know,
a good point. That's a
but in
very good
terms of other things, I don't know, like the Honey and Bus relationship, we've mentioned it before. It just felt like that was always doomed to fail almost. Like Bus always loved LA a little too much, and she always didn't care too much for the team. So it was always going to be a difficult marriage to do. So, but
Yeah,
I
and
don't know.
I don't know if we can see it, and there's more. I mean, that might be them just taking advantage of the fact that we are so media literate, and we can see this is what's going to happen. These are the steps, but like, still show us. Not just because we know, like, don't just
Yeah,
take a shortcut because we the audience know what's going to happen. Like, and this will come up again when we talk about. Actually, let me keep it when we talk about the romances. But yeah, so I don't know, you're right that like it was obvious, but at the same time, I still want to like. So it didn't feel like, oh, it came out of nowhere because these actors are so good, and even in little
yeah,
scenes they're able to show it. Even in the creative team is so good. The directing, the first final, no, the first I think it was the finals, game 1, yeah, against Philly, where it starts with like Boss and Honey holding hands, and then by game 3, then he doesn't want to touch it because like he's so angry, and like that works, but like it's still just like I want an episode of that. I want an episode of that kind of degradation. Chris, what do you think? Because you mentioned that you felt rushed. What parts felt rushed to you?
Yeah, just everything. Just like you said, maybe nothing interesting happened, but the way basketball is, even just being a fan more than time, there's always something happening during the season. Like it's kind of impossible to have like a boring season. Even
Hmm.
if like your team sucks, there'll always be some subplots, and yeah, it would have been interesting to see because, okay, for example, we see them get swept by the Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, were there points during the season where maybe you got the sense that, oh, maybe Lay is like they are riding a high, and they are in for like a rude awakening? Because I think Riley even said it like before the game one when guys are looking so amped up. He was like, yo, like these guys lost last year, and they're hungry. So maybe during the season that like sense of complacency was creeping in, but we didn't see it. Like who knows, maybe it seems like all their players have taken like a bit of a step back through who knows, like maybe it's age in like the case of Cap,
Hmm.
maybe it's just being complacent in the case of maybe Magic or whoever. But it's like we don't see that. We just see them getting trounced, and then obviously we see everyone being quite pissed off. So I'm good to see that. And then yeah, I mean I don't know. I always said that I was interested in Magic and Cookie's relationship more so than Boss and Honey. But yeah, I guess it would have been nice for them to kind of show what exactly Honey was seeing or what she felt and what maybe why that kind of drove her away. So maybe it won't have felt like such a jolt when she
Hmm.
eventually just like up and left and then decided to
Yeah,
make a lawsuit. So yeah,
yeah,
those would have been good.
yeah. Like it doesn't even have to show. Like, you don't like what one of the good things Ted Lasso did is that many times Ted Lasso did not care about football, right? But it could probably do like 6 months of a season in one episode. But which is kind of what I'm describing here, where it focuses on the personal stories, and then it's like shots, like random shots of a match. Like if the episode is smooth sailing for sorry, if the season is smooth sailing for the Lakers, that's fine. We don't have to spend an episode like worried about are they going to win this particular match. You can run through the season, but I'm sure there's so much that happened in their personal lives within that year to get these characters to where they got to. Like you said, even the team, the players, how did these players get so complacent? Apparently, Carl Malone, I believe it was Carl Malone was on that Sixers team, right?
Trigger word.
Moses Malone,
Carl
not
Malone.
Carl.
Sorry.
Respect Moses, I beg. I say
It's
respect
Moses Malone,
Moses, I
not Carl.
beg.
Sorry, I doubt. Yeah, apologies. But yeah, but he predicted or he said that they will go 4-4-4, right? So they will sweep all rounds. And then
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they lost one game. That's kind of something that could be a point in the story. My point is just like I'm sure there are things that you could have done. Maybe they wanted to do 7 episodes. Maybe that was their mandate from HBO. I don't know. But I just felt
So
like there was something that was missing.
so on the back of that, right? I feel like I'm always playing devil's advocate, but
No, please go ahead.
it's almost a double edged sword, right? Because you said last episode, and I'm sure some people feel this way that we already know Magic and Cookie end up. I'm going to focus strictly on basketball. We already know Magic and Cookie end up together, so
Hmm.
the story isn't that interesting. So maybe the writers or the showrunners felt they didn't want to waste people's time with things that they already knew happened. They didn't want to spend so long on like, oh, the Lakers beat the Sixers 4-2, or they went through the season and they drafted this guy and this guy got injured, and like people already know how the season ends. Maybe people are just looking forward to that ending spectacle. I'm on the other side. I definitely want to see how the season went. I definitely want to see them drafting James Worthy. I want to see everything that happens during the season. I want to see James
Hmm.
Worthy breaking his leg. In fact, I would have been very happy if this episode was just everything before they got swept by the Sixers, and the last 10 minutes was literally them getting swept. But I'm saying they might have felt okay. Let's not bore people what they don't know. But at the same time, I think to your points, both of your points, I would also implore the showrunners. Obviously, this is hindsight that just for the possibility that there's people watching Winning Time with very little basketball knowledge. And maybe it'll be fun for them to literally go through all the suspense thinking, like, oh, did the Lakers win? And also, another thing, another reason why I would have liked more meets before the finals is that Moses Malone was quite a big personality. So the whole 4-4-4 thing, it was mentioned by the commentators, but I feel like he was a
Yeah.
big personality. The Sixers had a chip on their shoulder. Like I wish the same way we see some of the Celtics, I wish we could see
Hmm.
the Sixers and the chip on their shoulder. And like even if it was just contrasting the dressing rooms, how the Lakers were just like ready and like excited to win a championship again, and the Sixers were like waiting to disgrace them. So yeah, I think I agree with you. I agree with you guys. There was definitely a lot left on the table. Let's
Yeah.
hope there's a director's cut somewhere.
I mean, calling out 4-4-4 in 1980, whatever, is bold as fuck, man.
After
When you're not even
losing, after losing three
as
times.
in, yeah, you're not the defending champion. How do you, that's so bold. But yeah, I mean, I think it was just there's some scenes. I always like I've mentioned we focused on the boss and honey scene, but really it was actually when um Riley was talking to his wife, Ebuka's favorite actress of all time, Julian Jacobs.
Actually,
I was
it
like,
changed
oh,
now. It changed now.
No,
So
it's a change. Oh my
I was like,
days.
oh, this is like, I would have liked to see more than one scene of these two guys, of this family, like navigating this season, Riley's first season. Like I'd have like, and it's actually we can use that to talk about the romances because it's very interesting because there are four couples, right, that are mentioned in this episode, for example, right? You have Boss and Honey, you have Magic and Cookie, you have Riley and his wife, and then you have Norm and
Debbie.
Debbie Allen. Three out of those four are like full on basketball wags. Like they're all accomplished people in their own rights, like actors, designers. I can't remember what Riley's wife was. I think she was a scientist. I can't remember. But my point is like they're all like on the same page for like, let's talk about basketball. Let's actually talk about it. She's like, oh, do you think they don't have to drive? Debbie Allen is like, well, we know Magic is going to be the point guard now. You get what I'm saying? But obviously, Honey is the only one who's like, it's just basketball. And well, she's the only one that ends up without a husband. Ebuka, I should read that out. That you have, but using that as a segue, who do you guys want to talk about first? Cookie and Magic or Boss and Honey?
I don't know. Like,
Mm.
Boss and Honey, is there much to say? Like, I
I
keep on saying this thing, but
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
let's start with them because I feel, yeah, you're right. I feel like there's more to do with Magic and Cookie.
can,
Um,
Boss and Honey. Can I just say it's funny how like people enough people don't watch Winning Time, right? So people won't realize this. But I feel like Boss saying to his wife that a team is like a living, breathing thing. You can't just
that
ignore it.
was
Is on
that
par
was
with
so
Ghost
ironic.
saying to Tasha, "Have some sympathy. I just lost the love of my life."
Okay, wait,
Like,
pause. Apparently, Ghost never said that. Like, no,
I
ah,
know
like
what?
literally, like, no,
it's
literally,
Mandela
apparently, like,
effect.
literally,
No,
like,
he didn't say.
so obviously that thing blew up, right? And everyone just assumed that, yeah, that's what he said. I was like, one
But
random
what
He
did he
time,
actually
say
didn't
though?
say that.
yeah,
He said,
literally, no,
"I lost the love of my
like,
life."
no, he didn't even say that. Like, apparently, one random time, it was just someone just said, "Oh, it's crazy how this has blown, has blown up," and he never said. I was like, "What?" And my friend was watching. I was like, "Yo, please, can you help me check and try to find this scene because like how has it become so big?" I never said. Yeah, apparently, I never
That's
said like I think.
crazy.
Wow.
Oh,
I
we
think
should
it
call
Fact
it.
was
We
check
should
of the
call it
day.
the. Yeah, we should call it
no,
the ghost effect. Oh my god, I genuinely thought that was a real line from the show.
sorry, real life, man. I
That's
think he just
crazy.
said
I'm
something along the
convinced he
lines of
said
like
something similar though.
it was something like nondescript. It wasn't as dramatic as "Have Some Respect." Actually, I just thought it was something like, "Oh, um, I can't remember it. Like that's how remarkable it was. He just didn't say it. I was
Yeah,
convinced. I was going to watch it back. I was like, that's something this guy said that was so crazy. But
that's
no,
crazy.
never happened. And that's why like there's actually no clip of it. If you actually notice, just people saying it. I think a
Yeah.
guy probably just said it, and like it's like, oh, this is. When someone says something, it's like, oh, this is basically what he's saying. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
probably how it started, and then just
Oh,
took off.
what
So
Ghost said was that the woman that I loved is dead.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
or something
Okay.
like that. But he never said, yeah,
So
apparently
it's not
it's
as
a known
bad,
thing. He
but
never said that.
well, it's too chaotic. So are you in this case calling the Lakers franchise his side chick?
They're his wife.
Oh,
Honey's
they're
the
his
side
wife.
chick.
Oh, honey's fair. I mean, you should be her lawyer because that's what she's arguing. She's arguing like, well, she was never the correct wife. Okay. Um, Ebuka, did you feel vindicated in the fact that these guys broke up so quickly? I just like because
No,
obviously you mentioned last week you were like, how would you be like? Why would you want to be someone that doesn't care about basketball at all? And I guess
I don't
if you
feel
did care, she would
vindicated.
understand. Which
I
is
feel I feel very sad, but I also feel like Boss just loved the Lakers too much, even to an extent that I'm not sure it's normal for an owner to love a team. But I think it's because he linked his pride to the team, so
mhm,
he just
mhm.
wasn't seeing straight when it came to the Lakers, and she was never going to change that. In fact, I don't even know if I, I stand with Boss. By the way, I actually believe that he forgot to file those papers. Like he just seems like the kind of person who would forget, or it would be too much hassle for. So yeah,
oh yeah, no, I probably did forget, but that's obviously like a crazy thing to forget.
why though? Why
uh,
is me forgetting?
do you want the
What do
fact
you mean
check
by why? Like,
of that now?
okay,
We
so
should
imagine if Wait, so imagine if something had happened to him, like maybe he had been, in the hospital or something. Like it's a huge thing. Like, okay, let's say he's in the hospital, and, like someone needs to make a decision. Like his wife can't do it because they're not actually married. So that's now going to start finding, who are you actually married to, and stuff like that. Or if God forbid he had died early or something, and it's like, oh, I'm his wife. Oh no, you're not. So
I mean,
like,
it's ridiculous because at this point, I think they've been married for like a year,
Yeah.
and him and Joanne had broken up for maybe 2-3 years before. So it's at least 4 years that like he forgot
That
because
makes
of
it
God.
more likely that he can forget.
Do you want the fact check of that now or later at the end?
Let's
I'll
do
do
the
it at the
fact
end.
check
Never mind.
now.
I'll do it.
As the day okay
oh
at the end.
yeah, let's
Okay.
do it now.
Okay, let me do it now. Do the research, do it now. Okay,
As the
so
day halts.
obviously, Honey is a composite character. She's not real. But two of Boss's exes actually sued him. The first, Veronica Boss, sued him on the grounds of bigamy and fraud. So
Okay.
she obviously, so it is true that he was still married to Joanne, and
Yeah.
that's because his divorce from Joanne was not made official until a full 8 years after he married Veronica. 8 years
8.
after he married, not
Oh
8 years
my
after he
days.
divorced Joanne, 8 years after he married Veronica. So I don't even know
Okay.
the gap between Veronica and Joanne.
Okay.
So for maybe up to or even more than a decade, he was still legally married to his ex-wife.
That's wild.
After a while, I'm sure at some point you just wake up. You know how you just have random memory. Remember that thing that you forgot to bring out from outside.
Yeah.
Can't you just wake up like, oh shit, that paper is still in my drawer. I forgot to file it. Like
Like
8 years
maybe
is a long
by that
time.
point, like, maybe he had even
And
lost
I
the paper.
and
Or
I'm sure
like,
there's like I'm sure there was like legal documents and stuff that he had to sign or discuss that would
I'm
have
pretty sure
required.
it was about business. I'm sure it was like because of the,
Yeah.
the franchise. I'm pretty sure it was like they need to be legally married for some tax loophole or something. Okay, but anyway, Honey and Boss breakdown as we all expected. Let's talk about the real couple that everybody wants to talk about. Um, Magic and Cookie. Okay, to be fair to the writers, and because we know, like we've always known this was Endgame, and we always knew Magic and Cookie were like they're still married in real life, so that's no secret yet. But I don't know. I felt like that scene at the expo, like the two scenes actually, when he comes in and quote unquote saves, and then when he basically declares his love for her and she accepts him. I feel like that was well earned, right? That was the
you
result
say it
of
was what?
it was yeah, it was earned. Yes,
Oh,
that's
I thought
the
it was.
that's the result of one or two phone conversations an episode, right? You see, and these two actors have good chemistry together. They've had since season one, so it works in this sense. Like you buy it. Whether I think Cookie as a human, as a character, should accept Magic Johnson, that's a different question altogether.
Oh. Hmm.
I don't know if me, like, if again we're just using the characters on the show. I don't know if Cookie was my friend. I don't know if I would advise her to take back this guy. But I don't know. I thought it was well earned. Christopher, obviously you are a big fan of this relationship. What did you think of?
It's not even that. Just
It's
like
not
I
an
just didn't
insult.
feel.
I don't understand. Why do you make it? Why?
No,
I'm not
no.
insulting. It's like a good
There's
thing. You're a big
always there's always an undertone to all your
There
comments.
is an undertone.
No, I was gonna say like you didn't feel well earned because literally as I indicated, I've now started taking notes. So what I thought was good, what I thought was going to happen, like I literally wrote it down. So obviously, at first I wasn't sure what her reaction was going to be like when he pulled up to the expo because it looked like she was getting ready to face like a firm no from the
hmm
people who she was meeting with. So
hmm
when he now pulled up and like their disposition just changed, that's actually a real life. That's like a thing. Like, are you happy that he has come in and helped you? And
hmm
like, because obviously like, he wasn't trying to cause any harm. Obviously, like, his intentions were obviously good. But sometimes about like that's not always how it gets interpreted. It's like, oh, because I was like, oh shit, is she going to be upset now? Because obviously it's like I haven't earned anything just because you're Magic. So when she was
hmm
like, when she took well to that, obviously probably knowing that yeah, he had the best intentions and stuff. When she was like, at least when she said, "Give me a warning if you're going to have me lying," I was like, okay. So I literally wrote, oh, that's like the first major chink in like her armor. So me, I thought, okay, this is now like when we see things pick up. Only for
Not the
like at
midnight
the end of the
calls.
episode. No,
Yeah.
because no, for me that was just like that's just him. Because remember that she was still with Virgil, and
Okay.
then
Sure.
yeah, no, obviously like not with, but like it just seemed like okay, the midnight call or just I'm just be entertaining you, but like I don't take you seriously. I thought okay, this is when she now takes him seriously. I said okay, like we're done with all the it's just vibes and we're just back and forth. Now, like you actually like, okay, you're serious about me because like
Mm-hmm.
he missed I think was it practice or something. Just come and see her. So I felt like I like first time okay showing that I can also prioritize you. So I thought okay now maybe like by maybe start of next season or something or whatever like that's when it's now official. Only for them to be engaged by So I was like, I mean, felt a bit too fast, but it is what it is. It's not as if
let's
we didn't know
let's
it was
break it
coming,
down.
but
Let's break it down. So there's the conversation at the expo, right? When he comes
hmm
up and he announces to everybody, and then there's the engagement. Do you think the first one felt like, did that feel rushed? Like
as in
her
him
accepting
going.
him, her said, "Okay, let's give this one last chance."
Oh no! Like that didn't feel rushed. Like I
Okay.
said, that was calm. It was now the proposal and
Oh,
Really?
I'm on board. I'm on board with you. I felt like the proposal
I
was too quick.
disagree.
Oh
I
wow.
So
definitely
go
disagree.
ahead. Go ahead.
Because Magic knows, man. Like, come on, like you said it. Like,
Hmm.
even if we don't know the relation in real life, these actors have chemistry, and like from everything they've shown us, Magic just knows Cookie is the person for him.
Yeah,
Like,
but why does she
and
accept?
okay, fair enough. Maybe her accepting is a little
It's
because
Yeah,
maybe
like
three
yeah,
months.
no,
maybe
like
she
him
knows as
proposing is not
well.
what I'm
Okay,
saying
no,
is
it's not three
wild.
months because this was the fine. This was the playoffs, right?
Maybe she knows as
So that
well.
been like 8 months.
What if
Yeah,
she
but
knows
like
as well?
you just give. I guess 8 months is not too bad. Was this? Did they propose at the playoffs?
Maybe I should be able to
Yeah,
support
they did
Before.
because Honey was leaving, so it's around the playoffs time. So we're looking at 8 months. But still, I felt like it was a bit rushed.
Okay, maybe it felt rushed because, like we've been saying, they didn't show us anything else. So it literally just felt like we're on board now, and now like you're proposing. So maybe like it's about the journey. If you don't see
Mm-hmm.
anything else, it's like how has Magic shown to you over this time that he is a quote unquote new man.
Mm-hmm.
Fair,
He's not
fair.
gonna like, for
That's
example, he announced to everyone how all you women stay away from me. Like, how has he shown that? So I
How
guess
has he
that's why I
actually
felt
turned down
rushed.
women? And again, that's kind of thing that comes up if we spend an entire episode covering, like you get like expanding a little bit more time and not just rushing to get to the 1984 finals. Um, Ebuka, how do you feel about Magic and Cookie being together?
I already said how I feel. They have great chemistry. It seems like they're good together. Magic just can't stop fucking other women. So, like I said, this
Well,
is the point.
back to Chris's point though, we haven't seen him
Okay,
either stop or can't stop fucking other women since. Do you get what I mean?
yeah.
Since he's been with Cookie, so we don't
So
actually know if he's changed or not.
remember what I said in the last episode that this is the point where I start to actually care about how the relationship is portrayed in the sense that
Mm-hmm.
did Magic actually change for Cookie or did he just give her a ring to keep her like locked in
Mm-hmm.
while he
Mm-hmm.
continued fucking around? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I might be about to turn on Magic Johnson. We'll see.
I mean, hopefully we get future seasons so we can actually know
Find out.
and discuss it. Yes. Um, should we go to the basketball?
Are we not going to
As
talk about
in,
Debbie Allen?
oh,
I
exactly.
mean, let's talk about Debbie Allen. I was trying to be respectful. Let's talk about Debbie Allen. What do you want to say about Debbie Allen?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Nah, that scene was amazing, man. And it's literally just Norm happy at his birthday. I love to see a black man happy, just
I
at
don't
his
think that was
birthday
him. That was
dancing.
his birthday. That was just a random
No,
night
that was
night
just
off.
yeah, bro. Look
Yeah,
at the smiles. Look at the
that was before
happiness,
he knew he was
bro.
getting
Look
traded.
at look at the
Look at the
smiles.
smiles. Look at the happiness. Everybody was on cocaine, but he was just on the natural cocaine of seeing of having Debbie Allen in his
Not
corner.
Magic. Magic was on cocaine.
Yeah, but Norm was just had the natural coke of having Debbie Allen in his corner. Imagine being traded to the Clippers and Debbie Allen is sat beside you telling you, oh, like
And
there
she
wasn't even a
stays.
question of
She
if
stays
she was
with you
coming
after.
with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said she stays with him as if like he was
No,
a
no,
bomb
no.
or
Because
something.
no, it's not even that. I was actually surprised because like there wasn't even a question of like, oh my god, Debbie's in LA, blah blah. She was talking about the move together with us. Like, oh, so you guys are for real. And yeah, they eventually did get married and
And
everything.
they're still together.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
He
that
said that's
is that like
beautiful.
that is actually like no joke. That's actually quite. I was like, oh wow, these guys have been together
Yeah.
since 1985. That's
No.
actually so like too high profile. Like Debbie Allen is. I mean, we saw what we saw, and that was back then. So much more happened since
Yeah.
then. Debbie Allen is very, very prolific. Very, very has won lots of stuff, awards, personal achievements. since 1980, whatever. And Norm's obviously he's not a Hall of Famer.
No.
No, I
No.
don't think so.
But he's a highly respected basketballer, and like the fact that their relationship has lasted this many years, 3 children, that's just really, really
No,
cool.
that's
Yeah.
enough to even warm your cold heart. Fair
Yeah, it
enough. I
is.
mean,
Like, okay, I didn't know I became the Grinch, but fine. Okay, yeah, I'll take it. But yeah, like the fact that like, to survive Hollywood, that's just really cool.
Yeah, now for sure. Also, like I don't know what you guys think, but like, what were they trying to show? Because remember when Jerry was talking to Magic and he was like, if you're going to be like the leader, you have to make some tough calls. Like, was that asking him to sign off on them trading Norm or what? Like,
Yeah,
what did he mean by that?
that was
Okay,
that
and then
was
also,
that was my idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm asking because like in the scene where you see Norm and Debbie dancing, you now see Magic looking. So it's like. I was like, is he looking because like he's jealous of Debbie Allen, or is he looking because he knows that this
No,
guy's about to get traded? Yeah,
yeah, I think
no, like not. No, I just mean like, is he falling back? It's like his old ways. Like, that's
no,
what
his
I
old
wasn't sure.
ways.
I wasn't sure. Like that's what I'm saying.
No, I
Because
think
like
he felt. I
he
think
kept
definitely
panning
felt.
to him.
He felt sad about making a decision. Like even with the Jerry West thing, he didn't want to make a decision. It was like that. This is what's best for the team. So I think obviously the other players are kind of saying that Norm has lost a step or he wasn't good in the finals, and he knows that the trade is coming for Norm. But I think he felt bad about it. I think that's why he looked like that,
Yes.
drinking his coke.
By the way, who's the actress that played Debbie Allen?
I don't
Please.
know. So our screeners doing.
Tanika Renee
Oh, wow.
Gibson.
So
How do you know
She
her
what's
has
the
name?
name? You went to go and look.
3,753 followers on
Wait.
Instagram.
Our screeners don't have credit. So how did you find out who she was?
What?
Our screeners don't have
Oh
credit. How
my
did you find out who she
days.
was?
Don't worry about all that.
I don't even want
Tanika
to know
Renee
actually. No,
Gibson.
never mind. Never
What's her
mind.
name again, please? Hold on.
Tanika
He can tell you. He
Renee
can tell you off
Gibson.
air. Jesus Christ.
No. This is
All I
also for like our viewers who might want to know.
Yeah, Banky
Is
wants to be the only one that
can
knows.
you say
You
her
know,
name
when we start
again?
the episode and Banky rattles off the writer, producer, he wants to be the only one that knows that. Tanika Renee Gibson.
mm-hmm.
Is that with two N's or is that with one N? No, but I'm actually,
this. I can't believe I can't believe what's going on.
I'm actually not sure.
Is one
Okay,
N.
I think I've actually found her.
Okay, can we continue?
Yes.
Yep.
Speaking of Nixon, though, I mean, it might be the last time we see him on the show. So let's just give a
Yeah,
final
he went
shout
out.
out
He went
to
out good.
Devon Nixon's
Cooked the
performance. I think
Lakers.
as his father, he got to cook the Lakers in that game by the Clippers. Yeah, I mean, I think that scene with Debbie Allen on the fame lot was just incredible. Like when he talks about becoming a Laker and never thinking to end. Yeah, I think it's been we've said it many times. I think it's been a very good season for Devon Nixon, and between this and the brunch scene, I think he's done some very good acting this season.
Yeah, and even you mentioned the scene with Debbie, but even the scene where he's talking to all his teammates and he speaks to Magic and he speaks to West and he's like, "You never
West,
liked
yeah.
me, man. Let's cut the bullshit." He's been really good. I think
Oh, is that what he
him.
said?
Yeah, I think he might
I
have been
didn't
my.
hear. I heard you never lied to me.
Oh, he said you never
What?
liked
No,
me,
no.
man.
What you said makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Oh, that makes
I'm
sense.
trying to think hard, but I think Devon Nixon might be my favorite acting performance from this season.
This
Like I
season.
don't know if it's based off because
But
obviously
I think
Adrian
that's just
Brody has been
because.
really good, but like I expect a
Yeah, but I
level
also
of
think.
greatness from some people.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think we're so used to, um, what's his name, John C. Riley being great
Yes.
as boss, and Quincy Isaiah being great as Magic. That we're just like that's just the bar. So I look at everybody else who's going to impress us more. So I get what you're saying, and like, yeah, you might put it. It's almost like most improved is not the right term because he was very good in season one, but it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know you because season one I was so focused on boss and Magic, and sometimes towards the end of the season Kareem that I forgot that, oh yeah, Devon Nixon, you're giving a great performance as well. So I get what you're saying. Obviously Jim Brody as Riley is good. That's nothing. I feel like I wanted more. I wanted more from Brody in that his first year as coach, right? Like Jim Brody's an Oscar winner. Like, give him the room to actually, like you said, show us everything him and Westhead. Okay, let's talk about basketball. I don't know what to talk about basketball. They're facing the Lakers. Like they did some stuff. They learned their lessons and they're facing Lakers. Is there really anything in basketball talk about this? I
Oh,
don't
you
know.
mean they're facing the
I
Celtics?
mean,
Sorry, they're facing the Celtics. I apologize.
there are some things to discuss.
Yeah, let's
Just
go ahead. You
the
took
fact that
notes.
And just, I mean, okay, for example, them getting swept. Like, I think I brought this up when we discussed episode 2, how when, players of old, they don't really have these things held against them like players of today. Because if you
Mhm.
get swept, that's like pretty bad. It's not as if, like, obviously Sixers,
In the
like, that was
final,
actually
though, like,
yeah, that was, yeah,
rah.
but still getting
No, I'm
swept
saying
is
like
bad.
getting
Like,
swept in the final. When
yeah,
last did that happen?
it happened in
Oh, true.
2018.
20, yeah, 20, no, 2019. Was it 2018? Yeah, I
Who
think it
was
was
No, it was
2018?
2018, yeah.
2018.
Who was
Oh,
that?
okay, was
2018. It was
The
Lakers
19
and,
was
final.
no,
Raptors.
Warriors and the Cavs, and the Warriors
Yeah,
swept the
that was
Cavs,
2018.
The Warriors
sadly.
swept the Cavs.
Yeah, after
Yeah,
LeBron dropped
that
51 in the
was
first
after
game and
Kyrie
lost.
Oh,
had
oh yeah,
left.
yeah. I remember that. I remember that actually.
Yeah, but obviously that was actually a legendary season by the Sixers. Obviously, like they actually did well. It was, I think it was 4-5-4 instead of 4-4-4.
Yeah.
But like that was, but still getting swept, and it's not as if Lakers were bad. So it's like now if that happened, like you would get crucified. But it's just like
Hmm.
it just happened. I
They
guess
got
maybe because
crucified
they
though.
kept no, but that's what I'm saying. But like when people talk about Magic, like no one, or
Oh,
You
Kareem,
don't
no
oh,
one
remember
says,
that.
"Oh,
oh,
this guy
yeah.
got swept." It's just he has 5 rings for Magic, and I think Kareem has 6. So like that's just what I mean. But like the modern player deals with way more scrutiny. But yeah, then I think in 1993, that was who they playing in '93.
Who, the
93? Did they get
Bulls?
to the finals in 93? They played the
No,
Bulls in
that's what
92,
no, that was
91,
'91
92.
that they played the Bulls.
Okay. Did they get there in 93? If they got there in 93, they
No,
couldn't have
no,
got there in
sorry, not
93.
'93. 83, it's this one.
83.
Like,
Oh,
because yeah, they got swept in 82. Then 83, did they get back?
Oh, you mean this game? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So 83. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
83 is them versus Celtics, right?
It,
No,
no,
I
they
thought
didn't
that
get.
was
They
84.
got to 83.
Oh, okay, okay,
So they
okay,
Okay,
win
okay.
80.
Oh, okay, yeah,
They win
yeah, they
80.
win 80.
Magic airballs
Then they okay,
81.
okay,
Then
yeah. Then I guess
Riley wins
then they
82.
yeah, okay. Then I
Then they
guess swept
swept
83.
83. Now they're in 84.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
I was like, well, you're saying 93. I was like, well, how far? Where are we going? Are we doing a different show?
They were
Are we
like,
now in the last dance? I was confused what's going on. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like, the, I mean, am I alone in saying that, like, that Boston Lakers, that whole sequence from the game
yeah.
to both Red and Jerry Boss's speeches, I was like, yes. Just I think that's the thing that winning time does great. Like winning time knows how to ginger you. Like even in the slightest things, it could be with like a picture or a headline, but it just has that propensity, that like that electricity, that movement, that kinetic energy where you just like you just ginger and you're like, yes. I'm like, yes, yes, Paul Revere. I'm like, yes, take me
you
out.
said
Like,
Paul
yes.
Revere.
Oh, that
Um
was good. The Lakers
Yeah,
there was
exit.
like
there was a
The
time
Lakers
when
exit.
there was a point in that sequence when Bird shoots and obviously he has that his hand thing that he does and he's walking back and he looks at the camera and I'm like, oh wait, should just be about Larry Bird? I was just like, I was like, should this should just be about him right now because what is this is again I think that's like it's so wild how TV works because like that scene or that sequence works so well because we've spent an episode with Larry Bird, right? Was that episode 3? I think
Yeah.
it was episode 3.
hmm.
And yeah, I'm excited. I think I know how the 84 finals play out, but I can't remember, so I don't want to spoil it for myself. Um, so I want to see what happens next episode. Um, what was I going to say? But yeah, I mean, there's the whole Kareem Fire thing. Well, I'll touch on that in the fact checking section. But is there anything you guys want to talk on that we haven't touched on before we wrap up?
Oh, I mean, now that you brought up Kareem, I was gonna say it's. I guess it's interesting to kind of see maybe this is where he became a bit more personable because
Mm-hmm.
obviously, the fans when his house got burnt down, they
Yeah.
were like kind to him. But at the same time, I just feel I don't know. Like obviously, it makes sense because I think anyone would definitely be touched by if you lose all like the important jazz records in your house and then fans come and start getting the records. It's touching, but I just feel like that's because the speech he gives basically is what I'm alluding to, where he's like that parents look to us as an example of excellence to show their kids, and as we win, these guys feel the highs and lows with us. But it's like I think in a way that's where I think that's kind of why Kareem was who he was before, though, because like it's easy for fans to empathize with a guy's house being burned down because that's like an act of God.
Mhm.
Or like it's easy for fans to empathize with that. But I think Kareem didn't like them because it was like they see you as like a as like an object for their entertainment, and it's like they can empathize with me on this, yes, but it's like when how about stuff that like they don't or like that the average fan can't experience or like or won't experience, like can they empathize with me on that? But I think you would have to be a special kind of evil not to empathize with someone's house getting burned down. It's like
Well, can I gently push back on that? Because I think it's not that he's like, oh, they empathize with my house burning down. I think to him, he's surprised how far they like they went for him. Because it's like, oh, you don't just see me as the guy that plays basketball and like, yeah, you're right. My house burned down. You're like, oh, sorry, Kareem, sorry, Cap, shout you across the road. But like, you actually bring me into your house so much so that you've come and again, remember, it's not as if they're just giving you like something that like this is a big deal. This is rare. These are rare records that you couldn't get back in the day like that. So you're actually you giving me something of yours that means a lot to you just because I've lost mine. And I think that kind of I mean it's on record through my fact checking that they were like this was a moment that actually softened Kareem in real life. Like I think it's in his biography, it's in
yeah.
Riley's biography, I think it's the West biography. There's like I think it was the outpouring of love that surprised him. Not the fact that people were like, oh yes, fuck, your house burned down, that's bad. But it was like, oh, I mean so much to you that you're willing to part with something of yours for me with like without it, I'm not paying you back. Does
Oh
that
yeah,
make
no,
sense?
no, no, yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. I get it. Like, and obviously, it was nice to see, even just watching it, because he looked genuinely surprised that
Mm-hmm.
he's showing up, and so that's something that I get why it would have that effect. I'm just saying, like, it's I don't know how to put it, because for example, like we all know, like he was very like I think he even said it himself how like he was distrusting of like white people. I think it's something that he's been open about, and obviously we like we get why coming up in America at that time, and I
Chris,
think
why?
obviously
Why is it?
please,
Do you know? I was
please
reading
can we behave
Kareem's
ourselves? I don't
Wikipedia
understand.
page
Like
one day, and it said, "Oh, Kareem had trouble with the coach in his final year of high school because the coach called him a like
But
just plain like that." What do you think?
oh no,
no,
why is everybody? I don't know why everybody
But leave
hesitates to
back,
say
no,
this.
please, please. No, I was going to say because I think even also when he changed his name from like Lou Alcindor to Kareem, that
Mhm.
was also like something that didn't sit well with people. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I
yeah.
think yeah, that's why I mean like this is obviously a nice gesture, and obviously I think it would move anybody. Like it doesn't matter how disillusioned you were, like if someone's doing this for you. But I'm just saying like I just feel like this is not even about Kareem so much. It's just that like I feel like it's not like a big step
It's not
for
big
people to
enough.
take. Like, no, not even that. It's just like I feel like okay, let's say for example, someone who is, let's say, is a prejudiced person, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
I think you can, like I said, if I'm prejudiced, like if I'm walking that road and I see a house burning down, I'm not going to start saying, is it someone who looks like me? Like I'm saying, I think it's easy
Are
for
you
someone to
sure about
empathize
that?
with.
I don't think. I think you're
No,
being
no,
very generous.
no, no. Like I'll tell you explain it. What I'm saying is that Cap's issues, right, is that okay, you can be entertained by me, right? But like you're not going to like you don't experience the world the way I experience the world, right? So
Yes.
I'm saying like this is not even about him. I'm saying like I get why he's obviously touched by that. I'm saying like just put that to one side, right?
Yes.
Now, like I'm saying like just broadly, it's that do you think that like those people who, for example, gave him the records, right? Like have their views changed? I guess that's like what I'm asking.
Well, I
Or
think
like
I get what you're saying,
were
and I'm
they
trying to.
people who were already like empathetic before? I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. So I think the people that Cap Kareem thought everyone was right
Mm,
won't have given him records. Does that make
okay,
sense? Do you get what I'm trying to
okay,
say?
yeah, yeah.
Like I think maybe he also realized that like not everybody is as
Okay, yeah,
evil
like
as he
okay,
thinks
yeah,
he
like
is.
yeah. Like
'Cause I think there are
there's
people that would have been like,
there's
fuck,
some good
fuck
among
the
the bad.
yeah, people would have like, fuck the nigga, let his house burn. All he does is play basketball.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like we pay him enough money, he can go
Definitely.
and build.
To
Like there are people
replace
like
the
that.
house, yeah.
Yeah,
People say
definitely,
can replace
definitely.
the house, replace the
Exactly, and
rest.
I think he was just surprised that not everybody is like that.
Okay, yeah.
So no, yeah, and I think I can understand why it will soften his heart. Ebuka, do you have any
Kareem?
final inputs? No, just thoughts in general.
Thoughts in general. Nothing. I like the episode. Great basketball, great personable moments. I like Kareem's speech. I like
Hmm.
everything, and I think not too much to add to extend
I
the
think
recording.
all
Before
the
we get
speeches were
into
good.
fact checking, I'll just place myself in the episode.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I am Jerry Boss saying, "Have you had a cheesesteak? It's not cheese. It's not steak. Fucking terrible." And this is not because I hate cheesesteak. Cheesesteaks are amazing, but I just love when people are like pedantic like that about
Do we
things
have
that are
cheesesteak
named
in this country?
stupidly. Yeah, have you never had cheesesteaks?
I've never had a cheesesteak. No.
There's plenty. There's like Chicago. I forgot what it's called. Chicago Fire or something. They do Philly cheesesteaks.
Did you?
People
Oh,
just
I
yeah.
think. Oh, I've
But
never.
I just love when people are pedantic like that about things that are named stupidly.
Yeah.
It's like it's not cheese. It's not steak.
I get what you said. Chris, what about you?
Where am I in
Where
this
would I place
episode?
myself?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking. I guess it's something I should ponder more while I'm watching.
Yeah, I always forget during the episode.
Okay, actually, yes.
I can
I'll
just
place
keep it as a
myself
my thing.
as no. I'll place
No.
myself as Magic pulling up just as they're about to tell Cook no.
Oh, you've got that aura
Or saying
like that.
no, I'm just saying, or showing up for your partner when they
Oh.
least expect it.
Oh, I can't believe you're using this podcast to rebrand your image. So
What do you
this
mean
is-
rebrand?
This is
No,
ridiculous. for
only
me.
you
I
think
can't.
so. No,
I
what do you
can't believe
mean
this
by-
guy. Christopher is
No.
going to use this as like his CV for the streets. Like,
What do you mean by
listen to
the
what I said
CV
about
for the
romance
streets?
and rom
Oh
coms
my
and
God.
like showing up for
First
your
of all,
partner. Oh my
it's well
god.
known that I watch rom-coms.
Mm.
I'm not like you
It's
who
well-
is
Wow.
trying
So
to
now
dig
it's
down.
well known that he watches
It's well
rom-coms.
known.
It's actually well known.
Chris said
Oh
everyone
my-
is saying it. Search on Twitter who is saying it. Chris was saying it. Everyone is saying it.
He didn't
It's
even
actually-
deny
it's
the
legitimate.
allegations. He added on top.
It's
It was
actually
like,
well
it's
known.
known.
No, it's not.
It's well known.
Like,
Okay.
it's just well known.
You see how he's
Alright,
trying to
wait,
hypnotize you? He said well known like 7 times.
Nah, man, Baki, he knows himself. Like
Oh.
even doing like who is ask Baki who is sexy during those shows.
Next is going to say he likes black women.
What? Meg actually friends. So
Oh, I'm so dead.
I don't get what this final session is about.
Oh
but
my God.
It is legitimately well known. Like
So
unlike some on this podcast,
this makes no sense.
rom-coms.
I can't.
What do you mean by makes no sense?
Why am I the one that doesn't like rom coms? This makes no sense.
Because you don't.
Of course I do. What? Of course I love.
Or what's your favorite rom-com?
I don't have a favorite
I know what
rom
it's
com.
going
I have rom coms I like. I really like Crazy Stupid Love. I really
Personally,
like
my favorite
Playbook. I don't know if that's a
rom-com
rom com or a rom
is
drama.
always the last one that I watched.
You know, I should have said that. That's very good.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
I need to be taking notes because you niggas.
Are these
you
are
guys are
people-
cooking
no,
on this
no, like-
podcast.
I think that people who like don't have
Okay,
don't watch
Chris,
rom-coms. Now
Christopher,
they are saying,
what
"Oh,
is your favorite rom com?" I dare you to say a bait one. What's your favorite rom com?
a
I know
base
what
one
he's
like
going to
what?
Don't tell
No,
me Pretty
watch it.
Woman.
No, you know what? Guess.
I know what he's
You-
going to say.
You never get to guess.
It's going to be between 10 things I hate about you and how to lose a guy in 10 days.
No,
Okay.
no. It's
Is
not.
it before 2000? Is it before the year 2000?
No, it's not.
It's
before
after the year 2000.
Like I said,
after
you never get
2010.
it because I
It's after
actually watched
2010.
rom-com.
Is it after 2010?
I think it came out 2010 actually.
Okay.
Oh,
so I wouldn't guess.
no. It's after 2010. Sorry. Yeah.
2008.
No, I said it's after 2010.
Oh.
You see,
Social
like
Network.
because no, what is that been wrong?
Whiplash.
No, but like
The
if
girl
you
with the
have
dragon
like,
tattoo.
I actually watch rom-com. It's well known.
Okay, so
Like, I would have a list.
what's the favorite rom com?
It's
Think
well known
like a man.
phrase.
Think like a man.
Ah.
Yes, my favorite rom-com.
In fact, I wish
See,
you never
yes.
said that.
Yes,
It's my
Steve Harvey
favorite
head.
rom-com.
Yes, Steve Harvey.
No, it's not even that. No,
Wake up at 5
because
a.m.
no. I'm very particular. For me, when you say rom-com, it should actually combine romance and comedy. Like so, a lot of rom-com, quote unquote, it's like a generic term. Even movies that don't combine romance and comedy just say rom-com, but think about that is actually funny, and it's actually romantic. So that's why it's my favorite rom-com. But obviously, like, I've watched all the movies you guys have called. 10 things I hate about you. How to is a guy.
Have you seen
I
Palm
actually really
Springs?
like this. Nah, but I actually really like this Silver Linings Playbook. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a rom-com or just a drama. But the
I wouldn't
director
say
is a
it's a
piece of
rom-com,
shit.
but
Depends on how sick you are.
oh,
So.
for real.
Yeah, it is.
No.
But the director is director is a piece of. You do not go on his Wikipedia page.
Okay.
That's some
But yeah, you
rom-com
guys
attack
heard it's
people,
Christopher's favorite rom-com is Think Like a Man. The stuff
And
based
it is
on
well
the Steve
known
Harvey
that
book.
he watches.
It is well known.
It's
Christopher
literally
has
well
been
known.
interested in
It's literally
rom-coms
well
from a
known.
very young age.
It is literally well known. Like, it is well known by everyone. Like, if you want to ask my sister, you can even ask her.
It's at _ Christopher O.
Okay,
If you
now.
want to discuss with him. Okay. Who am I? In this episode, I am Norm Nixon getting Debbie Allen and telling her she's not going anywhere for 40 years. Like,
Really?
find
But when I
ways to-
said I was magic, or that was the end of the world.
I'm just saying, like, me, if I'm ready to bag a body like Debbie Allen, I'm like, look.
There's no need.
Why not this breakup thing? Let's forget about it. We're going to make everything is going to work out one way or the other. Even if I need to be, even if I need to submissive, it will work out one way or the
If I need to be submissive.
yeah. Okay. Fact checking.
Oh my god.
The first fact checking point is that it is well known that Christopher likes rom-coms. So please remember that. Okay, but no, yeah. So Magic apparently proposed to Cookie several times. The first time was in 1985, which means that this is happening like a lot earlier than when it actually happened in real life.
Okay, and now that makes sense. Like,
that makes more sense, right? Yeah, it does.
And like,
make more
that's
sense.
what I expected too. I thought like she was going to say no. Actually, like,
I thought she was going to be like, "Look, I love you, but we just can't do it right now." That's what I thought she was going to do.
Exactly.
But yeah, so 1985, so they pushed it back. They pushed it forward a lot actually. Karim's house actually burned down, as most people know, but it burned down in January 1983, and then the show did it in September 1983. So it actually burned down during the season that they lost to the Phillies, but the show moved it to happen
Early.
later. I told you the thing about Jerry Boss and his wife. Those are kind of the main things I have from what they call it. Fact checking. So I think we can end there unless anyone has anything to want to say. Christopher, please come back with 3 rom-com recommendations.
I can come back with 10 self.
Jesus
I
Christ.
don't even understand. I'm not saying like
Wow.
no because
I only asked for 3, please.
I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to set up as if
no,
this guy is
I was going to say come back next week recommendations for rom-com. Why everything I say comes with an agenda or trying to attack
I'm
you?
familiar with your game. That's why.
It's not my game. Please just come back for our listeners. Come back with rom-com recommendations for them.
I shall.
Do you listen? No, never mind. I was going to say, do you only watch black rom-coms? Anyways, thank you guys for listening. It just started raining here, so I don't know if that's a sign, but it is the UK, so it might just be live. Any final thoughts, guys, before we wrap up? One more episode,
man. I'm excited to see what happens in 84. I'm like Banky. I think I know what happens, but I still
you think you know, right? But yeah,
I really wish, please, man, HBO, even if it's one episode, we need to see the aftermath. Like, we just need to see the aftermath.
Oh, imagine if you actually ended like just yeah. Anyway, hopefully we get a 3rd season. Jeff Perlman, if you're listening, you're always welcome on the podcast, man. Yes. You know NBA more than the 3 of us combined, so it will be a bad conversation, but we will always try our best. But for now, thank you guys for listening. Please go check out our Top Boy episodes and join us next week when we'll be joined by Daniel Kaluuya, who will be telling us about his favorite rom-coms. Bye, guys.
Safe.